tandem with the Australian government money.
What's the percentage breakup between Australia and Malaysia?
At this point, it's around about 50-50. And it increases proportionately in terms of Malaysia's funding as time goes on.
Last question, Chair, if I may. The aileron or whatever it was found on Reunion Island, I've been reading that it is from MH370, a Boeing 777.
Correct.
And are we certain that the serial numbers on the component parts of that piece of equipment matches that of the aircraft? Indisputably.
The French judicial authorities are actually doing the investigation. They are certain that there are unique identifying numbers within the flaperon which related to 9MRO, which is the accident aircraft.
And Boeing have confirmed that?
As far as we know, yes. But
have we anything in writing?
The French have announced it publicly that it is definitely from the accident aircraft.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
For your indulgence.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Just in relation to this, yeah, we're trying to just write out one.
There will be one.
Is it on this matter?
Not on this matter, but
This
to
is
the
on-
OTS. Not on this one, no.
Alex, you got them on this matter? Yeah. Okay.
You know, you've contracted a vessel, I presume it's a vessel, to tow this this equipment that measures
two vessels, Senator.
Yeah, the
And-
contract currently allows
Are
for
they the best suited vessels for this work? Because we've received representations that you picked the wrong vessels, or at least the wrong equipment.
Senator, we went to the international market with a very clearly specified tender for the services for the search for the missing aircraft, and we did a very serious technical assessment of the bids that came forward, and that there were 3 bids that were technically compliant with our quite specified tender conditions, and we selected the one that was the best value for money. The vessels that we have available to us are fit for purpose, as is the equipment that they are using and the crews that they are using.
So whilst it might have been the best value for money, was it the one with the best proven success record of finding and utilising this equipment?
There hasn't been any exercise on this scale and of this capability, Senator, so we have no benchmark against it. The closest
What
we
about
have...
the Air France aircraft?
The Air France aircraft was talking about a much more constrained area and with a much more specified last location of the aircraft. So we were talking about in a somewhat different ocean bottom as well. There are a whole range of different circumstances. There was nothing that we can directly compare our current exercise to, Senator, and we are confident that we have the best value for money for the Commonwealth for the exercise.
Best value for money, but we don't know how much we're going to spend or how long we're going to active for. So is it the best piece of equipment to be doing the job?
The equipment is doing the job that we require of it, Senator, and
That wasn't the question.
So is there a piece of equipment that will give you a wider span either side?
Mr. Cole?
There is. You don't ask the question, you know the answer, and I'm sure you know the answer.
Yeah, of course, Senator. I mean, we considered a number of options when we put together the statement of requirements for the tender. We got the best technical advice that we could, which is expertise that exists within the United States. And we specified very carefully the requirements, the technical requirements for the systems that we'd use in the search.
Chair, can I ask that from us?
Yeah, no.
May we get a copy of that technical advice and all the other material that you relied on before you made your decision as to which search company that you went to and the equipment used?
We can certainly provide that documentation. We have it in existence, of course. It's part of the tender assessment process. So the normal, if you like, commercial in confidence rules apply, which don't apply.
But not. I'm not interested so much as to what each of them we're going to charge for it. I'm interested in the technical assessment of those.
It's part of how we assessed the tender was we assessed, firstly, we didn't consider price at all. We were blind, the panel was blind to the price of the bids. Right. Until such time as we'd actually assessed their technical merit. So we then, once we'd assessed their technical merit, taken advice on the technical merit of the various bids from an expert, we then...
Who was that expert?
He's currently contracted to us as our sonar expert. His name is Andrew Sherrill, who worked, amongst other things, on finding Air France 447.
Right. So you provide us with that information.
Can I just pause the
Pause for
key
lunch anyway. with
so
dinner, whatever it is.
that I propose to go through to finish ATSB now to a maximum 7 o'clock, and then have half an hour for dinner, and come back because we are behind the clock. And that person out there is writing that rude note about me, so I've got to be careful. And so I would implore the committee that to get it all done in the next half hour. Yeah, well, yeah, earlier the better.
Yeah, I've got a question in relation to while we're talking about recovering things. I'm not sure if anyone and my colleagues have asked questions about the Pell Air recovery of the black box.
No, Senator.
It's been a number of months now. I think we first raised the February estimates. That's at what, 46 or 47 metres, Mr. Dolan?
Approximately.
Yeah, approximately. Where are we at? Have you got the black box yet?
I signed a contract on Thursday, I think it was, last week, for the recovery services. Our current expectation is that the vessel with the recovery equipment will be out there by the first week in November, and we expect to have completed the recovery within a week of their being at Norfolk.
Thank you, Senator Xenophon. I'm going to go to Senator Fawcett,
Of course. Thank you.
and we'll get back.
Are we still on MH3?
I'm trying to, Chair, I just want to know, why did it take so long? It's been February to October. What's that? Help me out here, about 8 months?
We had to do an initial assessment of the conditions of the wreckage, depth, and so that we could actually specify for a range of potential service providers what the task was that we were asking them to achieve for us.
We knew where it was and how deep it was, didn't we?
We had to verify that, Senator, given the number of ocean currents and so on around Norfolk Island. So we had to specify that, and then we had an open tender because this was a significant piece of government expenditure.
Thank you, Chair.
Senator Gallagher.
Just on MH370, could you supply on notice what you can about the tender process, the technical advice and the cost? Because you may or may not be aware, but there are people giving a lot of different senators, both coalition and government senators, opposition crossbench senators, a very different view of what you're actually doing there. And it's not a complimentary view. And it doesn't appear to be sour grapes. It appears to be a very different technical assessment. So you're going to need to sort of justify your contract, your decisions, or at least publicly make them available to us, because we're getting an information source which is contrary to what you're saying. Are you aware of that?
We're aware that there is some fairly public commentary, Senator, about an alternative approach to this. We have paid attention to that every time the question has been asked of us as to whether our techniques are up to the necessary standards. We have provided the information. Very happy to provide that information to the committee. Very happy to provide a separate briefing to committee members if they wish it, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Senator Fawcett.